Good morning, everyone. Now, today, let's start a new lesson, surface chemistry. This is chapter 5, and this is the first part of the surface chemistry. Now, the first topic of the surface chemistry is the surface. So, we all know that the uppermost layer of any substance is known as the surface, or surface is also defined as the boundary that separates the two substances is also called the surface. So there are many chemical reactions which have the surface for phenomena. So the one example of this is corrosion. We all know very well that the process of corrosion always takes place at the surface of the metal. So it is a surface phenomena. The atom or the molecules in the surface means outer surface. This is the surface. This one is the surface. A surface of a substance have different molecular environment from the atom or the molecule in the interior of the substance and are chemically more reactive because they are present. For example, this is a surface and these are the atom or the molecule which are present on the surface, and here are some atom and the molecule which are also present inside the surface. So in comparison to these atom or molecule which are present on the surface, they are highly and the chemically more reactive. Now the next topic is adsorption, that is adsorption. So the meaning of adsorption is when a substance, up here the meaning of the substance is the substance may be the molecule, they may be the atom, or they may be the ion, gets concentrated on the outer surface of the solid. For example, this is any solid, this circle is any solid, and these are the atom, ion, or molecule which are concentrated on the surface of the solid. So it is said to undergo adsorption. This process is known as the adsorption. Now, next topic related to the adsorption is adsorbent and adsorbate. There are two topics of the adsorption. Now let us discuss the topic adsorbent first. So adsorbent means the solid substance on which surface adsorption occur. For example, this circle is any solid substance, and on its surface the process of adsorption takes place. So this solid substance is known as the adsorbent. This circle is known as the adsorbent. And the next one is the adsorbate. So the meaning of the adsorbate is the molecular species. Here again the molecular species is atom, molecules, or the ion that get adsorbed on the surface of adsorbent. They are attached on the surface of adsorbent. They are known as the adsorbate. Now, for example, suppose we have a charcoal and which is present in a finely divided form. Here the word finely divided is used for the powder form. If the charcoal is present in the powder form, so it has a tendency to absorb a number of gases, like for example ammonia gases. So here the charcoal absorbed the gases like ammonia. So the charcoal is act as a adsorbent, and ammonia which is absorbed by the adsorbent is known as the adsorbate. Now we have two type of adsorption. First is the positive adsorption and second one is the negative adsorption. Now there is a slight difference between the positive and the negative adsorption. So in case of the positive adsorption, when the concentration of the adsorbate, means when the concentration of the atom or the molecule or the ion is more on the surface, in comparison to the bulk. Bulk means inner part. In comparison to the bulk, it is known as positive adsorption. And the example for the positive adsorption is charcoal absorbed the concentrated potassium chloride. So it is the example for the positive adsorption. And next is the negative adsorption. So the definition of the negative adsorption is it reverts to the positive adsorption. Means the concentration of the particle are more on the bulk, means more on inside in comparison to the outer surface. It is called the negative adsorption, and the example is charcoal plus dilute potassium chloride. Here we use the concentrated and here we use the dilute. So these two are the example of the positive and the negative adsorption. Now there is another term, desorption. Desorption means adsorption is of reversible nature. This adsorption process is of reversible nature. Now here the meaning of reversible is the species which are attached on the surface, they have a tendency to leave the surface. They have a tendency to detach from the surface of the solid, and this is known as the desorption. And desorption takes place on its own, but if we want to accelerate the process of desorption, so for that we have to raise the temperature. If we raise the temperature, the process of desorption is increases. Now the next term is absorption. Now we all are familiar with the word absorption, means absorb. Absorption means the particles, means the atoms, ion or the molecule are attached on the surface as well as they move inside the surface. So this is known as absorption, and it is not related to the surface alone. Here we have seen that it is a surface formula. Only on the surface of the solid adsorption take place, but it is not related to the surface alone, but it occurs throughout the body of the substance. The particle are attached on the surface as well as the particle moves inside the surface. Now we have one example. We have very good example of ammonia. For example, we have the water, and when we pass the ammonia gas to the water, so the each and the every particle of the ammonia water absorb the ammonia gas. The ammonia gas penetrate inside the molecule of the water. It means the ammonia gas is absorbed by the water. So this is the phenomena of the absorption. Now if we want to differentiate between the absorption and adsorption, so there are various features on the basis of which we have distinguished in between them, but there are some very important difference in between the absorption and the adsorption. So the first is, if we study about the absorption, so absorption is a bulk phenomena. Bulk means the molecule are adhere to the surface as well as they move inside the surface. They are move in the bulk also. So it is the bulk phenomena. And if we want to tell about the adsorption, we know that it is only a surface phenomena. Now the second property is concentration is same throughout. The concentration is same throughout means the concentration of the adsorbed particle are same outside the body as well as inside the body. But if we want to study the adsorption process, the concentration is more at the outer surface in comparison to the inner surface. Now the rate of the absorption is uniform, means the uniform proceeds at absorption proceeds at a uniform rate. But if we study about the adsorption, the process of adsorption is very high at the beginning, but now at the starting of the process of adsorption, the solid surface is empty. Now at the adsorption process take place, to atom and the molecule, as they come in contact with the surface of the solid, that is come to the surface of the adsorbent, they attach very quickly to the surface. Now after some time there is no space left in the surface, so the process become slower. That's why its rate is, the process of adsorption is not a uniform, because in the beginning the process is very high, process is very fast, but as the time goes on, passes on, the process become slower. So these are the differences between the absorption and the adsorption. Now there is one more phenomena that is called the sorption. Now the meaning of the sorption means adsorption and the absorption occurs together. When these two processes occurs together, this process is known as the absorption. Now if the process occur together, so what happen? The concentration of a particle is distributed same throughout. It is same in the outer surface as well as it is same inside the bulk. So it is called the absorption. Now we have one very good example for the absorption, that if take a ink, either a red ink, blue ink, black ink, any ink of your choice, and soak a cotton ball inside the ink. So after some time you observe that the ink is absorbed by the cotton ball outside as well as inside. The ink penetrate inside as well as it is also accumulated in the outer side of the cotton ball. So this is the process of the absorption. This process is called as the absorption. Now let's discuss about the types of adsorption. Now the adsorption is of two types. One is the physical adsorption and another one is the chemical adsorption. Physical adsorption is also known as physisorption. Physical adsorption also called the physisorption, and sometimes it is also considered as a van der Waals adsorption. Now actually what happened when the particle of the adsorbate and the adsorbent, when the particle of the adsorbate and the adsorbent are held together with any physical forces. Now here the physical force is van der Waals force. That's why it is also known as van der Waals adsorption. So such adsorption, when the physical force is present, so such absorption is known as physical adsorption, and it is also known as the physisorption. Since the attractive forces are weak, then they easily overcome either by increasing the temperature or by increasing the pressure. So these are all about the physical adsorption, physisorption, or the van der Waals adsorption. Now if we want to talk about the, that is chemical adsorption, also known as the chemisorption. So it is clear from the name that in between the adsorbent and the adsorbate there should be a chemical bond or a strong force similar to the chemical bond. That's why such type of adsorption is known as the chemical adsorption or the chemisorption. So now let us discuss the characteristic of the physisorption. First of all, we have to discuss the physisorption. The first is the lack of specificity. Now the meaning of the lack of specificity is that physical adsorption are not very specific to a particular molecule or particular atom. So a given surface of adsorbent does not show any preference to a particular gas, as the van der Waals forces are the universal. Van der Waals forces are the universal. Now the second one is the surface area of the adsorbent. We all know very well the process of adsorption takes place at the surface. So greater is the surface, greater will be the surface area, greater will be the process of adsorption, or the product adsorbed is greater when the surface area will be greater. Now the next one is the nature of adsorbate. This is the nature of adsorbate. The amount of gas adsorbed by a solid depend upon the nature of the gas. In general, it is observed that easily liquefiable gases are readily adsorbed, as van der Waals forces are stronger near the critical temperature. So these are the three main characteristic of the physical adsorption. Now if we want to discuss about the chemical, that is the characteristic of the chemisorption. So the first characteristic of the chemisorption is the high specificity. Here the meaning of the high specificity is that is chemisorption is highly specific and it is only occur if there is some possibility of chemical bonding between the adsorbent and the adsorbate. It means that the chemisorption occur in that case where there is a possibility of formation of bond in between the adsorbent and the adsorbate. So this is called the high specificity or the highly specific nature, because they are very particular. Now for example, this is any metal surface, and when this metal surface come in contact with the oxygen particles are adsorbed on the surface of the metal. Why they absorb? Because there is the possibility of formation of metal oxide when the oxygen come in contact with the metal surface. So this is called high specificity. This is one of the very important example of the high specificity. Now the next one is the surface area. So the process of the surface area is same as that of the physisorption. Here also the process of adsorption increases as the surface area increases, or the amount of adsorbed gas is more when the surface area will be greater. So this is the second property characteristic, that is called the surface area. Now the third one is irreversibility. That is irreversibility. Now let us discuss irreversibility. Chemisorption involves compound formation, because there is a chemical bond, there is a formation. So chemisorption involves compound formation. So it is usually irreversible in nature, because in this case the formation of a compound takes place. That's why it is irreversible in nature. Chemisorption is also an exothermic process, but the process is very slow at the low temperature on account of high energy of activation. So, but in case of the physisorption of a gas adsorbed at the low temperature may change into chemisorption at a high temperature. So this is the difference. Usually high pressure is also favorable for the chemisorption. Now the basic thing is irreversibility, and why it possesses the irreversibility, because we know that in case of the chemisorption there is a formation of a chemical bond. So the chemical bond is always formed in between two, so in between the adsorbate and the adsorbent. So if there is a formation of a chemical compound, it means it possesses a irreversible nature, and that property is known as the irreversibility. Now the next topic is, that is adsorption equilibrium. Adsorption equilibrium is the next topic. Now let us discuss first of all about the main topic is adsorption isotherm, but before starting the adsorption isotherm, it is very important to understand the adsorption equilibrium. So when a solid adsorbent is surrounded by a gas, we have a solid adsorbent and it is surrounded by a gas, then according to the Langmuir was a scientist, the gas molecule constantly striking against the surface of solid adsorbent and some of the molecule get absorbed on its surface. For example, this is a solid surface and these are the gas molecule. They are continuously striking to the surface of the solid. So what happened? Some of the molecule are adhere over the surface of the solid. This is the process given according to the Langmuir. So it is assumed that the layer of the gas molecule on the surface of the solid, this is the solid surface, on the surface of the solid cannot be more than one molecule in depth, and such a layer is known as the unimolecular layer. So it is further assumed that adsorbed gas, the gas which is adsorbed in this surface, has tendency to escape from the solid surface, and that process is we have already discussed, that is known as the desorption. Therefore, a dynamic equilibrium exists. There is a dynamic equilibrium in between the adsorbed gas and the gas molecule in contact with the solid surface. So the process of adsorption is therefore a phenomena of adsorption equilibrium, because there is an equilibrium in between the particle which are attached here and the particle which escape from this surface, and this equilibrium is known as the adsorption equilibrium. The adsorption equilibrium is affected by temperature as well as by the pressure. The equilibrium, both the pressure and the temperature has the effect on the equilibrium. The adsorption of gas molecule, assume that these are the gas molecule. So the adsorption of gas molecule on the adsorbent increase with increase in the pressure of the gas, and it is found that after a certain pressure at the given temperature, if the temperature is given, the amount of gas adsorbed does not increases with increase in the pressure of a gas. Because why it is not? Because the surface of the adsorbent is completely filled with the molecule. So, and we all know very well that it is a unimolecular layer of the gas. So this pressure is known as the saturation pressure. This pressure is called the saturation pressure. Now come to the main topic, that is adsorption isotherms. Adsorption isotherms. Here the main topic is adsorption isotherm. So a graph between x upon m, the graph between x upon m and p at a constant temperature is called adsorption isotherm. Now what are x upon m and p? Here x is the mass of the adsorbate. X is the mass of the adsorbate adsorbed on mass m of the solid adsorbent, and p is the pressure. X is the mass of the adsorbate adsorbed on mass m of the solid adsorbent at the pressure p, and p is the pressure of a gas. So here we depict a graph in between the x upon m and p. This is the x upon m and this is the p. Suppose this is 0. Now what happened? Now look at the graph. So this point is called the PS. This is PS. Now at equilibrium pressure, suppose the equilibrium pressure is PS. At equilibrium pressure PS, xm reaches maximum value. Xm, this xm reaches the maximum value. Now the meaning of the maximum value is no more adsorption takes place even if the pressure is further increased. Now value xm reaches the maximum value. Now if we increase the pressure but there is no further change in the, no increment in the process of the adsorption, this state is called saturated state. Now this state is called the saturated state, and here PS is the saturation pressure. This PS is termed as a saturation pressure. So the pressure and the temperature. Pressure and the temperature are the two main factors which can influence the extent of adsorption of a gas on the solid surface. If the temperature is keep constant, if we kept the temperature as a constant, the curves plotted between the amount of gas adsorbed, that is x upon m, on the surface of the adsorbent and corresponding pressure, that is P. So such curves are known as the adsorption isotherm. These are the curves, and these are the curves between x upon m and the P, and such curves are known as the adsorption isotherms. Now under this adsorption isotherm, the main topic is Freundlich isotherm. Actually he was a scientist. So Freundlich plotted curves depicting the variation of x upon m with respect to the pressure at different temperature involving same adsorbate and same adsorbent. So he also depicts some graph and he also gives some mathematical expression. So from the curve it is evident that extent of the adsorption increases and the temperature decreases. When we decrease the temperature, the extent of the adsorption increases. It was depicted, or it was given with the after forming some curves. So according to the Freundlich isotherm, that is, he gave an expression that x upon m is directly proportional to the pressure. X upon m is directly proportional to the pressure. So x, for example, it is considered as P1. So x upon m is equal to k, that is the constant, and P1, where k is the constant. So this is the Freundlich isotherm. This is the expression given by the Freundlich. So it gave its expression for the different range of the pressure. So for that is at high pressure, at high pressure. So first of all he gave the expression for the high pressure. So at high pressure the value of x upon m becomes almost constant. The value of x upon m become almost constant, and it does not change with change in the pressure. The value of xm doesn't change with change in the pressure. So for that the expression is, that is, x upon m is equal to constant. Why it is constant? Because x upon m is directly proportional to P naught. Now P naught is equal to 1. This is, it is equal to 1. So x upon m is equal to k P naught. So this is the expression at the high pressure. And why we say that the value of x upon m become constant? Why we consider it as a, because this is on the basis of the following graph, that is x upon m, and this is the pressure. So at the low temperature, for example, it is 195 Kelvin. The value is this one. The adsorption level, that is 244 Kelvin, the value. And as we increases the temperature, for example, 289 Kelvin, it's the level of the adsorption process become the slower. So at the this is depicted by means of these type of the curves. Now the next value he has given at intermediate range of pressure. This is at intermediate range of pressure. So x upon m will depend upon the power of the pressure. Power of the pressure. Here we use the term power. Power of the pressure which lies between 0 to 1. the power lies between 0 to 1, that is fractional power of the pressure. 0 to 1 means it is lies, that is fractional power of the pressure. So x upon m is directly proportional to p 1 by n, that is the fractional power. So we can also write it as a x upon m is equal to k p 1 upon n. Here n is the constant and it is the whole number, and depends upon the nature. The value of n depends upon the nature of the adsorbate and the adsorbent. And here we have the two constant, one is k and another one is the n. Now the constant k and n can be determined by taking the logarithm on both the sides. So for that is log x upon m. If we are taking the logarithm on the both sides, that is equal to log k plus 1 upon n log p. So this is the another formula of the Freundlich at the intermediate range of the pressure.